Hey everyone, this is Freestyle Nath. In today's video, we are reviewing Eldora Mountain Resort and breaking down how to get there, where to park, the mountain, terrain park, the amenities, and my overall thoughts as an East Coast skier about Eldora Mountain. Stick around to learn everything you need to know about Eldora, and without further ado, roll the intro. Before we jump in, if you're new here, consider subscribing and dropping a like. I'm an East Coast skier testing out West Coast skiing for the first time, and your support goes a long way as a small creator. Alright, let's jump into the subject now. Number 1. How to get to Eldora. So one of the coolest things about Eldora is you don't actually need a car to make it there, as long as you are comfortable with the public transportation system. During the ski season, there's a public bus that runs from downtown Boulder straight to the base of Eldora. No I-70 traffic, no parking stress, and it runs multiple times a day. So you don't even have to wake up at 5 a.m. unless you want first chair, obviously. Now, if you're coming from outside Boulder, you can transit into Boulder first and then catch the Eldora bus. It certainly takes a bit of planning, but it's totally doable. However, if you are driving, you have two main canyon routes to get to Eldora: Boulder Canyon Drive and Coal Creek Canyon. Depending where you're coming from, one may be faster, but after a snowstorm, Boulder Canyon is typically the safer bet, as it is usually prioritized to be cleaned up first after a snowstorm. Now, let's say you made it up there. Where do you park? Number 2. Where to park. Eldora has multiple parking lots, and they usually don't fill up quickly or sometimes don't fill up at all. It's not impossible, but they're pretty good about announcing lot status on social media when there's no parking left. There are two main types of parking on Eldora from what I have figured out during my visit: carpool lot and non-carpool lot. The non-carpool lot can cost around $10 on busy days or on weekends, which is what I ended up doing as I was not aware of the cost. However, if you can carpool, 100% do it. It saves you money and helps the mountain. However, if you're using the non-carpool lot, I will mention that they do take tap to pay, which was nice. Otherwise, I would have run into trouble during my visit, as I, to be honest, never carry any cash. As a last point for where to park, if you drive an EV, Eldora has some charging stations, available first come, first serve. Just make sure you've got enough range to get home after you're done skiing, since do not rely on them in case they're all taken. Alright, now let's talk about the main attraction. Number 3. The mountain. Eldora offers about 680 acres of skiable terrain and 10 lifts, with the highest lifts being Corona and Alpenglow, serving about roughly 1,240 feet of vertical. Now, yes, compared to some of Colorado's massive resorts, it's smaller, but I have found that it packs a lot into that space. You'll find a variety of terrain like great glades, groomed and groomed terrain, solid expert sections off the Corona lift, a tucked away beginner area that's perfect for learning. In that beginner zone, it also houses the Woodward Terrain Park, served by its own lift, meaning most people riding it are park riders, which keep things flowing nicely compared to other resorts when the park shares terrain with the regular trails. Throughout my time on the mountain, I personally found that Corona was my favorite lift, as it serves a lot of the expert terrain and has many fun side hits. In fact, most of these clips were actually filmed there. Now, let's address snow conditions. Because Eldora sits in the front range of the Colorado Rockies, it can get firmer and icier than other Colorado resorts. Additionally, it tends to get pretty windy here. Hard-packed snow is also a thing here, but honestly, as an East Coast skier, that just felt like home to me. But it is something to consider should you ever consider skiing at Eldora. However, on a powder day, you'll 100% have an unreal time out here. Now, speaking of fun, number 4. The terrain park. Eldora's park setup is seriously impressive. Since the Woodward Park has its own dedicated area and lift, it creates a solid park culture. Lines stay manageable, and the feature variety is awesome. Whether you're just getting into park or throwing bigger tricks, there's something for you. If I'm being honest, out of all the Colorado parks I've ridden so far, this one might be my favorite. The progression-friendly features were perfect for working my 360s without feeling like I was launching into orbit because of jumps being too big. On top of that, the staff made the experience even more enjoyable. I also have to give huge props to the park crew. Not only were they super kind, but the features were really well maintained. Because between you and me, we all hate a sticky rail. Number 5. Amenities. After a long day skiing, you've got options for different lodges to relax at. Eldora has the main base lodge, a secondary base lodge, Caribou Lodge near the beginner zone, Lookout Lodge at the top of Corona, which features some stunning views. All of them also offers food, water, drinks, and the essentials you'd expect, like a bathroom too. However, the main base lodge also has a gear shop, tune shop, rental services, so if you ever need anything, the staff definitely has your back. For example, I ran into a pull issue where I lost my basket, and they were more than happy to help since I didn't have a spare with me. Overall, the lodges felt very clean, well organized, and easy to access, especially for a ski resort. Number 6. The overall vibes, or my so-called East Coast take. Alright, here's my honest opinion. What did I think of Eldora as an East Coast skier? Honestly, it really made me feel at home. And here's why. The shorter vertical drop, the strong park focus, the firmer snow conditions, the smaller mountain feel, and the friendly people. Eldora doesn't try to be some mega resort. It feels local, welcoming, and most importantly, laid back. It reminded me of those smaller East Coast mountains back home where everyone is just there to have a good time. Additionally, as a bonus point, there's no I-70 traffic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review since I had an awesome time at Eldora. If you're ever considering checking out this ski resort, I highly recommend it. Especially if you're looking for that local feel where it doesn't feel like you're skiing in a zoo. Drop a comment below with another Colorado ski resort you'd like me to test as an East Coast skier, and I'll see if I can make it happen. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.